Yo, what is up YouTube? And today we're going to be looking at my 100% win rate Inferno Sharon team featuring the Fuqiu and DokiDoki combo. Now this team will use Fuqiu and DokiDoki. If you guys do not have DokiDoki, I actually have an alternative that my friend runs in my guild. And I'll be showing you guys that run probably later this week or next week once I actually have the mats to build up that set character. It's just very annoying because I have no mats, so I'll have to farm it eventually, even though it's not 2x. But I'll show you guys that next week. And for this week, we're just going to be looking at the Fuqiu DokiDoki combo because a lot of people have been hyping it up. I hyped it up. I think a lot of people thought that I made this combo. It's not true. I did not make this combo. Honestly, it was told to me by a friend that was told by Chinese whales. So just showcasing this one as well in Inferno Sharon. We're going to be using Diting as our main DPS and Cachi the guard as our other support. The builds here are pretty simple. For this team comp, your Fuqiu can be slower. Usually your Fuqiu wants to be around like 220 speedish, even more. But for this team comp, we're going to put her a little bit slower on a more tankier build. You're going to see that she's on Wellspring and 8 Swift Rush. And that's mostly because my shell is not Swift Rush here. Instead it's Time Weave. But you can just run her on this setup here, just run her on full HP right side pieces, and just run her on Wellspring and 8 Swift Rush and you'll be fine. And then for your shell, you're going to want to run her on a Fortissimo. This shell is really broken on her because a lot of people think that, you know, her best shell is like Supernova or you use something like Artisan. No, Fortissimo is going to be the best by far because it stores your overhealing that your allies like take. And then when she takes her turn, she actually just giga heals everyone. It's super broken, trust me. You pretty much need the shell on her for harder content, so you want to make sure you have one. Skill investments, you don't need anything. Perfect for Fuqiu. She is a low investment character for PvE, especially if you pair her with DokiDoki. Now for Diting here, so this is our main DPS. He is going to be on a Fury, and what is this called? Kenai build. So Fury Edge, Kenai, Fury build. And you can farm this from, not DokiDoki, what am I trying to say? You can farm this from Nico Nana Inferno, which is very easy. In fact, I just uploaded a channel, I think like a couple hours ago, that has me on my level 50 account doing it with all SRs and like yellow gear. But anyways, you just put him on full damage. You know, it's hard to say the perfect stat spread for Diting because of his passive S2, like you can actually just like put whatever on him and he works. But, you know, just make sure he's at 100% crit. Make sure, you know, he's on, you know, right side crit damage and attack percent mods, and you'll be good. And for your shell, White Fang will be the best. Now, skill enhances, because you are using him as a DPS, you need to have him maxed out. You don't actually need his S1 max. You can leave it at level 4. But for the most part, you're going to need him maxed out. If you don't have Diting, or you don't want to use him for some reason, and you have Yeli, I don't know why that would be the case, but you can use Yeli instead and it works. If you don't have either, you can use Chloros. But you know, he is a good option because 1, he's free to play, and 2, he's just going to be easy to build. So next we have our DokiDoki. Don't mind her skill enhances. In fact, you can leave her at 111. I only have her skill enhance because I'm building her up for PvP, but I literally ran this before without any skill enhances and it worked just fine. You're going to want to run her on Swift Rush and Time Weave if you can, 12-12. The reason why I took Time Weave off is because I skill enhanced my S3, so I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic. So what you want to do is run 3 on the left side or right side, doesn't matter. Just mix and match and put 3 Matrix, Swift Rush, and Time Weave pieces, and you'll get the effect which will reduce your skill cooldown. For your shell, you want to run her on Time Weave if you can. If you have a Swift Rush, Time Weave, Artisan, it's very good. Otherwise, you know, Gigabyte's fine, you know, whatever is fine. Even like a Jackal Guard is okay. Just make sure you have Swift Rush and Time Weave. Next, we're gonna have your. Oh, I forgot to mention. You want to make sure she's pretty much on full tank stats. You don't really need anything else. I have her on defense. HP is probably a little bit better, but just whatever makes her the fastest while being on Swift Rush, while being tanky. Then you have your next unit, Cachi the guard. You're gonna want him on level 5 S3. That's all you really need. And then for your modules, Swift Rush Time Weave is going to be the best by far. If you don't have Time Weave, you can run him on just Swift Rush. It's fine, but it'll make the runs a little bit less consistent. And then for your shell, you want to run him on your Artisan shell. I recommend having 2 Artisans for this fight. 1 is okay, honestly, as well. But I like having 2 for that extra safety net. And I'll show you guys how the run pans out now with, you know, this team comp. So this team comp is 100% win rate, or I guess like 95 to 100, I think. Maybe I saw one fail while I was doing it a while back for some Halloween shells. But very, very stable. If you use Yeli instead, it's even more stable. And you're going to see the Fuqiu DokiDoki Super Lily combo strikes again and is unbeatable because this combo is just so broken. Any debuffs that go through DokiDoki will just pretty much insta-cleanse off. And I actually really like DokiDoki with Diting because if you use him with if you use her with Yeli, she like messes up your revelation timing, but he doesn't have revelation, so he doesn't really care. That's why it's really nice. Because White Fang, you know, doesn't amplify your turn's damage, right? It just gives you that after effect and a buff. But you can see literally I've had 0 debuffs on me so far, mostly because of Cachi the guard. But now as they apply, you're going to see they're going to pop pretty much right off. And we have a turn meter push. You can see Fuqiu gets pushed up right away. I believe her S3 is back off cooldown. Yup, very balanced combo. Extremely balanced, one might say. And if you guys are struggling to meet the gear requirements I have, you can literally run these guys on worse gear and it works. Unfortunately, I just don't have too many bad pieces in my inventory anymore because I ended up selling them. That's why if you go earlier in the video, I have 100k coins. I'm slowly selling my unused gear to get coins to upgrade pieces. So you can blame the devs for that. But yeah, its run looks, you know, you can see it looks just pretty safe. My health bars look pretty full, you know, very blue with shields. And this should kill on the next turn cycle, I believe. Which should be soon, because Diting gets pushed up, right? But, you know, there's a lot of other teams for this out there. But I think this one is by far the safest. You can see, literally my health bar has not moved. And even if the adds enrage, you are still fine. Like, you can take at least 3 more turns and still live, which is crazy with this, it's just crazy in this boss, right? But in this setup, like, it's just super safe and super free. And there goes down the Sharon. That is pretty much it, the setup for this team. Like I said, you know, you don't need to run them on this kind of gear. The most important thing is just that your damage dealer has enough damage so you don't actually extend the fight for forever, because even though this team comp allows you to stay alive for a long time, it won't actually keep you alive forever, if that makes sense, because eventually you will bleed out to the enraged adds. So you still want to make sure your DPS is on, you know, decent gear here, and you should be good to go. But that is pretty much it for the video though, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll hit you guys up with another Shell or Threshold Inferno team with this team comp, most likely in the next day or so, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.